Hey everyone, MC Trey here. It's been so long since I've done one of these videos. Life has been very full on, very hectic, juggling the different roles that I do. As most of y'all will know, I'm a solo mother. I have a teenage daughter. I'm at uni completing my social work degree, working two jobs, one at Street University in Liverpool, working with young people, and the other working at night in a warehouse. And then I come from a Pacific extended family, and I'm one of the movers in the family, you know, one of the ones that helps to make sure that things flow in the family unit. But yeah, it's a wet, windy evening here in Sydney. I've just come back from an amazing event for International Women's Day called It's Our Duty. So basically it was a hip-hop film put together by Liza Moscatelli, filmmaker, and Kween G, inspired by an event that was held by MayaJupiter and Kween G called Artivista. So basically Artivista is the company that MayaJupiter and colleagues founded in LA, so bridging art and activism in the arts. So an event took place in Sydney. This event got filmed. Mainly, it was all women in hip hop in Sydney. The event was filmed a couple of years ago at the Red Rattler, made into a film. The film's titled It's Our Duty, and we saw it on the big screen tonight. I saw it for the first time tonight. It's quite an overwhelming piece. It's always daunting as well when I see myself on film. It's quite vulnerable because you are putting yourself out there and your experiences, but at the same time quite strengthening as well, and amazing to see the other women and hear their interviews because I'd not heard them speak. But I do recall Liza, the filmmaker, saying it's interesting that we were all saying similar things, which makes sense because, you know, as they say, birds of a feather flock together. And we are musicians, we're hip-hop artists, DJs, singers, poets, and we've all come together for hip-hop music. So it's quite an interesting project, and we're able to share our stories and also, you know, talk to our music and the work that we do, a bit of our histories. And you know, in the film there was myself, there was MayaJupiter, there was Kween G, there was Ghenoa, there was Zeadala, and also you know, quite a diverse piece, and Merenia as well. But just everyone came with their own experiences and their own work, you know, the life's work and their passions. And even though we all utilize music and hip-hop music as our avenue to tell our stories, we're all grounded in social justice and activism, and amplifying the voices of those that may not have been heard, you know, and working to create spaces for these voices to be heard. It's hard work, you know, it is very hard work, but to see the other women up there sharing their stories was inspiring, and you know, it gave me more fuel to keep going. I have been doing this work for over 20 years in Sydney as a hip-hop artist, as a community worker, an activist, a youth worker, and yet very tiring, you know, and it was quite emotional today for many of us to see some of our work displayed on the screen, but then also to realize that now more than ever our work is needed, you know. Right now in Australia there's talk around you know, people in Parliament who have abused women, and the government not wanting to kind of give support behind people speaking up about the ills that have been done to them, you know, and it seems that the voices of women are being silenced, and there needs to be more work done around this. And I think a lot of the times people think it's not for them, but I think we all need to be reminded that if you're a female, it is about you. If you're a man, you have an important female in your life, and when you don't stand up for other women, you aren't standing up for the women in your life. And when you don't stand up for other women, you aren't really standing up for yourself. And that's the truth, you know. So collectively, there needs to be a change in how we think about women, how we stand up for women, and how do we ensure that there is equality and equity for women in all areas of life, you know, in all sectors, every day. And there needs to be more change. So we talked about so many different topics today, but I urge you to see the film. It's called It's Our Duty, Reflections of Women in Hip Hop. I'm sure it'll be shown online soon, and there'll be screenings all around the country. So I do encourage you to check it out when it does come out. And today, I just wanted to share a bit about my experience, my reflections from seeing the film. I will be catching up with the other women, you know, MayaJupiter, Barkaa, you know, First Nations artist who's ripping it up in Australia right now. It was amazing to have her on the panel, and to have her in the space and to hear her stories, you know. But you can Google her, check out her music, and also listening to Merenia and the work that she's been doing with the refugee community. And mainly children, you know. So I look forward to catching up with her and having a bit of an interview with her. Kween G doing some amazing work in the New South Wales Parliament around racism, you know, and speaking up for the racist acts that occur. So I look forward to speaking to her as well, and Zeadala as well, who's doing some amazing writing some amazing music and working with young people all across Western Sydney as well. And these are just a handful of people that were featured in the event today, but also the film as well, It's Our Duty. So yeah, there's a lot to download, but just wanted to pop on here and say hello because it's been so long. And I have been working on new music and new projects. I've just taken time out, you know, through the pandemic, but also as we are coming out of the kind of the restrictions here in Sydney, just taking time out to ponder what I've come through, what I've achieved in this country in music and hip hop and Pacific community and community services, but also reflect on my next steps, because I am only halfway there and there's so much more to be done, and I look forward to mapping it out and creating new spaces and meeting amazing people to network with, so that we could leverage off each other's resources and experiences to ensure that the world's a bit better for us and the next gen. So thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you all the best, sending you positive vibes and energy wherever you are. And take care of you, take care of your family. Bless. Peace.